Okay, this may be well, it is. It's the most difficult lesson of this unit, and it's going to take you some practice. I don't want you to get frustrated because I guarantee you there's going to be questions in the notes today and in the homework today that you can't do right now. Keep that in mind. You can't do right now. This is the first time you're seeing this. You're going to get better at it. Okay? It will be a challenge at times. It will be a struggle at times. Other times it's going to seem easy. Okay? I don't want you to give up. It's going to take some practice. I'm going to show you two ways to factor trinomials where a is not 1. So we can't just write x times x. We're going to have to do something else. Okay? One of the methods is called decomposition or grouping. I'm going to show you that second because I don't want you to use that method unless you have to. I want it to be like sort of a last resort thing. At first, I want to show you using guess and check. Okay, the same method we just did previously. Okay, so again, this is about factoring. So you look at this question and you're saying, I need to factor this. It's a trinomial. Okay, and the reason this is harder is because it's not x squared. I can't just quickly write x times x. In this case, it's actually pretty easy. I have to go 2x times x. That's the only way I can have a 2x squared. Okay? Now the problem is, you can't just do this. I can't say multiply to 3 and add to 7. Because it doesn't multiply to 3. Well, the two numbers do, but you have to keep in mind that this 2 influences the adding to 7. Okay? So let's think about this. It has to multiply to 3. Well, there's only one way to do that. 1 and 3. Okay, so let's just write it down as, I don't know, let's go 3 and 1. And you're saying, maybe that's it. Does that add up to 7? Okay, and here's where I think checking becomes critical, although I think you should be checking in your head, not writing it out. Okay, so let's quickly check this. 2x times x, that's good. 2x times 1, that's 2x, and 3 times x is 3x. And you can see this equals 5x. So this is no good. So I have to go back here and say, no, that's got to be something else. So what I'm going to do instead is put 1 here and 3 here. And if you check that, do it in your head. What's 2x times x? That's 2x squared. What's 2x times 3? That's 6x. What's 1 times x? That's 1x. So 1x and 6x is giving me my 7x. Okay? Alright, next one's way harder. Why is it harder? Well, there's more than one way to get 8. There's 1 and 8. There's 2 and 4. Which one do we choose? I don't know. So let's try. Let's try 1x and 8x. Okay? It's a try. We're taking a guess. Alright? So then, I'm going to look at the 1. I know this has to be a 1 and a negative 1. There's no other way to do it. Okay, so I'm either going to have 1 and negative 1. Let's quickly check that. This would give me negative 1x, and it would give me 8x. 8x and negative 1x does not equal negative 2. No good. Let's flip them around. This would give me 1x and negative 8x. Again, that doesn't give me negative 2. So this tells me 8 and 1 doesn't work. So let's try 2x and 4x. Okay. Now we already know this has to be 1 and 1. And we know that it has to add up to negative 2. So should I put the negative here or here? Think about that for a second. Where should the negative go? Well, I'm going to put it here. The reason for that is this gives me 2x. This gives me negative 4x. That adds up to negative 2. Okay? And again, you should check. Think about this. If this is a test question, and you check it, and you're right, what does that tell you about how you're going to do on the test? That means you already know you're right. You don't even need to wait for me to mark it, because you already know the answer. It's correct. Okay, next one. All right. Well, this is an easier one. Only one choice for 3x squared, 3x and x. So now you got to do some guessing. What about the negative 8? What should we do? Should we go 1 and 8, 8 and 1, 2 and 4, 4 and 2? Well, somehow I got to deal with this 3. So, well, let's take a guess. How about 2 and 4? And the bigger one has to be negative. This would give me negative 12 and positive 2. No good. Okay, let's switch it around. Let's put the 4 here and the 2 here. This would give me 6 and negative 4. No good. So it's not 4 and 2 I'm going to use. Okay, I think I get negative 8 and plus 1. This gives me 3 and minus 8. This is correct. Okay. All right, try D. This is probably one of the hardest ones you're going to see because there's so many options for 12. Okay, is it 12 and 1? Is it 2 and 6? Or is it 3 and 4? Take a shot. When in doubt, like I told you, this could be 1 and 12, it could be 2 and 6, it could be 3 and 4. I usually pick the ones that are closest together. That's just a guess. Doesn't mean it's going to be any more likely to be that way. It's just my first guess. Okay? And then I now want to deal with negative 6. One of them's got to be positive, one's going to be negative. I'm going to put plus 3 there and minus 2 there. Okay, if I check. Alright, I get 12x squared plus 9x minus 8x minus 6. And there it is. Okay, now you guys, the more of you do of these, the better you're going to get, because you have to be able to do the mental gymnastics. You need to be able to play with the numbers in your head. Okay, next one. What if I put a star there? Will that make you think of anything? I see there's a greatest common factor. I can take a 2 out to start. Okay. Alright, now what? I'm going to put a plus 2 there and a minus 2 there, and that works. Alright. Next question. Anybody notice anything strange? Well, the thing I notice is that's not the order all the other ones are. Plus it's A instead of X. Well, that doesn't matter. That shouldn't be a big deal. But I kind of would rather have that term in the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this question. I'm going to put 15A squared first, because that's what I'm used to. Then I'll put the 8A, and then the minus 12 in the end. Now, you don't have to do that, but I think you'll find it easier to do it that way. Okay. Question from hell. This is hard. This one's really hard. Okay, what are we going to do with 15? 1 and 5, 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Well, I'm going to take the guess that it's 3 and 5. And then let's look at 12. What are you going to do here to get you an 8 in the middle? What do you think? Does that work? I think so. You guys, I would put this question as some stars, and I would try it over and over again. Okay, try it repeatedly. Do it a few times till you're good at that one without looking at the answer. That's a good practice. That's a hard question right there. Okay? All right. Last one on this set of notes. So I got 2x and 2x. Okay? By the way, this one is a special case. Why did I choose 2x and 2x and not 1 and 4? Okay, these are both perfect squares. When I see a question that has all perfect squares, my first guess is just to take their square roots. I don't know why, but math seems to always kind of follow patterns like that. So when I see 4x squared, perfect square, I'm going to choose 2x and 2x. Not always going to be right, but there's a good chance it will be right. Okay, and if you put y and y here, guess what? That is correct. Okay, so that's factoring using guess and check. I'd really like you to be able to do that method. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you exercise 6. I'd like you to try that, okay, using guess and check, and then I will show you the other method next class.